Okay, here we go. I'd like to call the workshop to order on June 16th, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Here.
Councilmember Nichols,
Here.
Councilmember at Large Vandenhoever.
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll skip over the certification of prior meetings, reading the privilege of the floor and privilege of the floor, communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor. Okay, seeing none, we'll go to 6, communications of public and petitions.
Number 1, notice of claim Rafael Santiago of 10 East Courtney Street for damages to his car's front passenger rim allegedly caused by a pothole on Leopard Street between 6th and 7th Street on May 29, 2020 at approximately 10 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to the city attorney and Department of Public Works Director Woodbury.
So move.
By Williams.
Nichols.
Second by Nichols. Number 2.
Number 2, prior written notice from Soon Ming Wong of 25 Armadillo Street notifying the city of a potential threat to health and safety posed by a tree in front of the house. City right of way.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to refer this to the Department of Public Works Director Woodbury.
Well. Second.
First by Stoyl, second by Williams.
Number 3, summons in a civil action from Patty Ann Passateri, Administrator of the estate of Gregory Lee Galloway.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to refer this to the city attorney.
Well. Second.
Nichols.
First by Stoyl, second by Williams.
Number 4, request from Thomas B. Belk to put his Spanish food stand and Charlie's Curly Fries stands in Memorial Park for the summer of 2020. He's willing to pay a monthly fee to the city for space rent and use of electric and water hookups.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah, I think instead of going in Memorial Park, I think we should try to put them over at the between the Tim Hortons and the Clarion. There's a hard parking spot back down there, and that probably would be a place that would be better suited for them. I believe, Randy, you can let me know if I'm wrong. Isn't there electrical hookups and stuff like that down there too?
There is electric over there. I don't know about water, but it wouldn't be too hard.
All right. And then this would be something that would be probably fall in line with whatever we were doing. I don't know how we'd come up with what we're going to charge them or whatever, but then that would go directly to the city.
City clerk's office.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a DLDC function.
Anybody else?
I believe Mr. Valk said that he would, when he was given opportunities of where to go, that would be a wonderful location as well for the move.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so I like the idea of putting a location between Tim Hortons and Clarion. Maybe some other people will follow up on this. I would assume they would be. So I need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as approved subject appropriate insurance as usual conditions.
Nichols.
So move.
Stoyl.
First by Nichols, second by Stoyl.
That's with the
Number
amendments
5.
that we talked about, correct?
Excuse me?
That's what the amendments we talked about, correct? Like change the location? Okay.
Yeah, I just stated that. Make sure that we change that out of Memorial Park to between Tim Hortons and the Clarion.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Number 5, letter from Cynthia Carnes notifying the annual Joe Carnes Memorial Softball Tournament has been canceled this year due to health and safety concerns related to the COVID-19 crisis.
You'll receive and file that.
Number 6, letter from City Assessor Thomas Malechko to the council informing them that he turned in his retirement notice to Mayor Rosas on May 18th, 2020, and that he will be in his office until June 30th, 2020.
But my last official day of employment is July 30th.
That'd be July 30th, you said, Tom?
Letter.
That's of 2022.
26.
No.
20, how about 21?
There's some little voice behind me going, no way in hell.
No.
Can we keep you for another year?
No.
Tom, that voice inside your head is so loud, I'm hearing it.
Yeah. Remember those 2 little words, yes, dear.
Tom, remember my recommendations to you today.
You had 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, well, I'll say my little spiel on your last day, but I'm happy for you, but I'm sad for the city because you do such a great job, Tom. Okay, we receive and file that. We'll go to number 7.
Number 7, loudspeaker application request from Amanda DeGolier of 99 Ounce Street and neighbors to use standard PA and amps in their yards on July 2nd, 2020 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a private band.
Any discussion, council? I'd like to say I was looking at her application. She did a great job. You know, she contacted all the neighbors and neighbors signed off on it on a petition. That's good to see this way that it covers her and it covers us. I mean, I just want to make sure that everybody's on board with that. She did a very professional job on it. I applaud her for her application. So we're needing a motion to refer as my usual.
But Paul, is there any way that we could make that standard procedure from now on when they do that to get the request from the neighbors around them?
That
Yes,
is,
Councilwoman, if I can interject, Paul, real quick. It
Sure.
is our standard policy when it's in a residential area that we do have the neighbors sign off.
And if I may interject also, that request didn't come in that way. There was a lot of direction by the city clerk to have them complete that application.
Thank you.
Oh,
First, it, Paulie.
who's that?
I'll make a
Marty?
motion to first.
Okay,
second
Bomano,
it.
Go out.
Second.
second by who?
Go out.
Number 8, loudspeaker application request from Henry Hooten Sr. of 212 Webster Street to use DVDs and a live band on July 3rd, 2020 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a retirement birthday party.
Any
Is that for you?
discussion, council?
Is that for you, Tom?
He does that every year.
Does it every
usually
year.
The birthday party, but he's actually getting his retirement stuff this year. He has gone in the past to get the neighbors' approval and stuff like that. So it's something, like I said, that happens every year. So I'll be glad to make the first for that one.
I'll second that one.
Yeah, Henry's a great guy, and he's done a lot of work for a lot of people in the city, and he's a good dude. So congratulate him.
Mr. Chairman, may I interrupt a minute?
Sure.
Is there any way our guy running this show here, volume on the TVs are very low? Does he have anything to do with it, or is that just a TV thing? I was handed a note and
I don't know. I'm coming in loud and clear with everybody. Oh, you're talking about YouTube, Judge?
yeah, I don't know if it's got anything to do with our connection or whatever, but I was handed a note from somebody that their TV This thing is not coming across loud.
Okay, so maybe Gabe heard that. Okay, moving on to number 9.
Yes, sir. Number 9, loudspeaker application request from Frank Beach to use amps and speakers on July 4th, 2020. Alternate date, July 5th, 2020, from 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. for band practice at 11 Lakefront Boulevard.
Any discussion, council?
There was a little bit of discussion that we had with some calls and conversation last night. I did talk to Frank. I believe that we talked to the chief also, and everything should be good. And if where their location is at ends up causing anything through the through the traffic to have any problems, then they'd shut that down, and he'd fully understand that. That's not his intent. So as long as the chief's okay with it, I would first this one also.
Chief Ortolano?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have any issues with it. And my only issue would be if they're gonna have cars parking, that they stay along the lakeside walls, just in case an emergency vehicle has to get through. But I don't believe there'll be any issue with it. I'm sure Frank will take care of whatever the issues are and make sure it stays safe.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as approved, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
I'll first.
By Williams,
Nichols.
seconded by Nichols. Reports to standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilman Williams.
Nothing for here. I'll wait till meeting.
Councilman Stoyl.
I don't have anything either.
I'm sorry, Marty. I skipped you.
I don't have anything, Paul.
Okay. Councilman Stoyl.
I want to ask on the public safety thing. I guess Rebecca or somebody who's in charge of the boardwalk.
The boardwalk is owned by the city, so I guess the mayor would be in charge of it.
Okay, Mayor, then we'll ask you. I got this afternoon. These proprietors down there, and I appreciate their business, but there's one or two of them. There's one, especially one, it's got 6 vehicles parked down there. This is taking away from the public. Could we ask these guys to maybe park on Washington Avenue?
We certainly can. That was an issue when I first came on board as mayor, and it really wasn't being enforced by the city on any of the merchants over there. So we just kind of laid back a little bit, but we certainly could ask them. If we do ask them, that would apply to all of them, of course. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
Would like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean all of them. Well, it's taken. I mean, it's obviously been crowded down there. Everybody's excited to get out, and I got two calls on it today. The owners are parked. We can't park.
Right. So we can take care of that. We can enforce it. We'll go and talk to them and let them know that we decided now that we're going to be enforcing that, and they'll be allowed 1 vehicle per, if that's what you guys want to do. If you don't want any vehicles there, we can do that as well. Well,
I can understand 1, but when it comes to 5 or 6 for 1 business, and then it could go down the line and 2 or 3 for that business, and it just chases people away.
Certainly, we can do that.
And then I talked to Rebecca last week, and she gave me a very complicated answer about the parking at Dimitri's. Apparently, we own a couple of those parking spaces.
And I'll let Randy and the city attorney interject anytime they want, but my understanding is that years ago, we had a mayor who made a deal with the owner there at Dimitri's, where the city owns the 1 parking slot closest to the road, but not the whole parking slot. We only own most of the parking slot. So there's a question as to who actually owns that parking slot there. That last row of parking slots closest to the road.
Yeah,
So
Rebecca,
it's been an issue right along since we came on. We have a pretty cordial relationship with Jamie over there. And so far, it really hasn't been a problem or any issues. So, but I'm not sure what the issue is. The answer to your question is that the city does own a small piece of that last row of parking slots closest to the road.
that was the question one of our citizens asked me, and I said, I have no idea, and I asked Rebecca, and she gave me photos of this parking lot, that. So I guess my answer to that person would be the first, what, 2 or 3, Rebecca, or they could park on, and it would be city property without getting towed, without getting tickets.
So the
Right,
last
the
row,
first-
the last row off of Central Avenue is actually part of Central Avenue. If you remember, Central Avenue used to be 90 feet. And as Central Avenue was built up, it was generally encroached on. For example, the building there off the second block, the rural ministry, that we had to give an easement because it was built onto Central Avenue.
Hey,
So
I
what
called
happened here-
earlier. I had a couple questions. You guys still need a photo from the King Street fire? Because I saw that in my email.
Oh,
What is that?
she was talking to us.
Joe Wood.
I think
Yeah.
so. Said it was at 2 in.
The third row is
And the
actually
other thing is that
part of
sometimes
Central
a
Avenue.
revitalized Dunkirk
Front half is
story that
part
I put in when I was up there that one day.
parcels
And
that
make
make
them
up
paper before they're
the building and
sale.
the parking lot.
Hang on,
I
hang
don't
on
know
a minute.
what
Hey,
happened to
hang
it,
on a minute.
but,
Hang on a minute. Richard, hang on a
they-
minute.
you know,
Hang on.
another one
We got
that-
somebody walking over. Will everybody
Be
check their
right with
phones
it.
and their
I guess
computers?
for,
We got
like,
somebody walking all over us.
So I'm gonna submit that again,
So-
so can we run that soon? Okay, because the other one for some,
There we go.
Okay.
Yourself. I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys. Basically, the Jamie's lot is the building, and then it's close to that parking lot, and it goes to about halfway on that third row of parking, which is actually that last 6 feet or so is part of Central Avenue. And as I was saying before, historically, people have been encroaching on Central Avenue because it used to be a 90-foot road, and then they narrowed it down to 66 feet. So technically, the city still owned it. A handshake deal was done apparently, but nothing was ever filed publicly. Essentially, you have to file a use agreement just to make it whole, make it official.
I was asked, so I had to ask you guys.
Understood.
Anything else?
I'm done.
Okay. Councilwoman Nichols?
No, not for here. I got confused.
Oh, I have quite a bit I need to talk about tonight, but I'll bring that up at the meeting so it's on record. Going to number 8, unfinished business. Seeing none, go to pre-filed resolution.
Number 72, resolution authorizing contract with New York State DEC for 2019-2020 Environmental Restoration Program funding.
Any discussion, council? Rebecca, I do have a question. You know, I remember 20 years ago, McLean Nichols was the one who secured that money for that project. I was just wondering whatever happened to the original funding for that.
So the project did get completed for a record of decision. And what that record of decision means is it basically lays out how you clean up the site, but there was never funding given to actually clean it up. So we went after funding to do just that, to clean up the site. And now we received the grant from New York State DEC. And then our match portion, National Grid has a brownfield program, and they'll be completing our match.
Is that something that we talked about on our CDBG? Can we pull some money out from that or not?
No, that can't be done because it's technically a DLDC owned property. So no, we can't. But like I said, this won't come out of any city budget line. Specifically, it'll be funded through the DEC grant and the National Grid brownfield grant.
Okay. Any other discussion, council? Number 73.
Resolution accepting electrical contract for Main Street, Third Ward Pump Station repairs and upgrades under the 29 consent order.
Any discussion, council? Randy, low bid?
Yes, and the estimate was 400,000. It came in at 322.
And their union, IBEW?
Yeah, Beck Electric, yeah, local and union.
Okay, thank you. 74.
Number 74, resolution authorizing conveyance of Dunkirk city-owned vacant lot and paper street parcels to adjoining residents.
Any discussion, council? 75.
Resolution for intro number 6 to local law number 6-2020, City of Dunkirk, a local law to amend the city code, chapter 56, sections 2040, 2060, 3010, and 3030.
I'm gonna make, any discussion on that one, council?
No, I think we gotta set that up for a table and do a public hearing.
Yep. New business.
I have a walk-on, sir.
What is that?
This is from the Juneteenth committee. June 12, 2020. Mayor Rosa, City Common Council, Dunkirk city officials. The Juneteenth 2020 Celebration Committee is requesting the use of Memorial Park, Lakeshore Drive, West Dunkirk, New York, to hold a rally on Friday, June 16, 2020, beginning at 6 p.m. June 19th. It is the official observance of the African American Emancipation Day, which began in 1865. There will be presentations from various speakers on the importance of Juneteenth, especially in light of everything going on in the world today. We will expect that the rally should not last any longer than 2 hours. Community members will be encouraged to wear masks and practice social distancing in light of COVID-19. The Juneteenth Celebration Committee will have masks available for everyone who does not have one. I look forward to hearing from you and at your earliest convenience. Very truly yours, Loretta Slayton Terrain.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah, go ahead, Judge.
If we're gonna do this for them, and I have nothing against it, but if we're doing it for them, we gotta keep an open mind what's coming up. What's gonna be, once we open this book, it's gonna be open.
I was kind of gonna just say that I'm thinking that this is because of the whole COVID-19 thing. They had canceled their Juneteenth celebration weekend, and they did that fairly early. They canceled it, and now that it's coming up to where things are opening, I think that's why we're getting it at this late part of it. But I think that coincides with the way that we're opening and what phase we're in and stuff like that. So I would definitely like to make the first to grant them the permission to do that and grant the loudspeaker pending whoever else needs to sign off on it.
Where was this going to be held again? Did I miss it?
Memorial Park. They do that there every year.
I'll second it.
Yeah, we always, I know that in the past, we always okayed it, but I want to make sure that, I know it's a COVID-19, everyone's using that, but after today, I say that I don't like to get something today and I got to vote on it for 3 days, after that. So I think that we got to get back to our old protocol as a 30-day notice. And because if we don't, we're just going to be getting this. It seems like we're getting more and more and more of this, but we need to get back to the 30-day notice instead of the walk-on. So as of today, I say no more. I mean, we'll okay this, but then after that, we got to get back to the regular books on the rules on the books.
When did the walk-in come in?
if we okay this, we're gonna okay everything from this point on. Let's move on.
Yeah, it came in today, Nancy.
Okay.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn
So move.
Second.
by
Nick-
Williams, by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned. See you guys in 5 minutes. We'll start the regular meeting. Take a break. All right, I'd like to call the regular meeting to order on June 16th of 2020 at 5:30 PM. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Here.
Councilmember Nichols,
Here.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever.
Here, please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Oh, we remain in standing then?
Yeah, if you remain, everybody remain standing for after the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America.
and to the
to the
republic
for which it stands, one
One
nation,
under
under God,
God,
indivisible,
and liberty
and justice for all.
As of right now, I'd like to say a condolence to the Donaldson family, Clara, a longtime friend and employee of the city of Dunkirk. And I would like to have a moment of silence. Thank you. Certification for prior meeting.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020 was presented to the mayor on Friday, June 12th, 2020. Pursuant to section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect, and witness whereof I have hereto set my hand and the seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, the 16th day of June, 2020.
Need a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes
So move.
by Williams,
Doyle.
second by Stoyl. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye, but I have a question regarding this.
Yeah,
Um,
you just gotta vote.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever.
Aye, carried. Reading privilege of the floor regulations.
I have one letter that came in. It's City Council meeting, Debbie Razumowski, Tuesday, 6/16/2012, 11:30 a.m. I would like to ask the Common Council to address concerns I have regarding area around Wright Park at tonight's meeting. Number one, parking and on lawn at the end of North Warsaw Street in the park. There are many available parking areas, example, skate park and lots across the stadium. People are destroying grass entry areas when wet and unsafely backing out of the areas onto roadways, which is already a tough area already. Number two, dumping of wood and assorted waste accumulating after initial park work left to accumulate at east end of stadium lot. Number three, unkept and abandoned boat storage area associated with marina. Number four, walkway around Wright Park unsafe with very large cracks and tree roots making this a liability of the city, and I want this to go on record as prior notice. Number four, large trees along creek area are a hazard and many are leaning. Number five, final and more important issue is speed along North Street from Lake Shore around park areas, including Serval, Pine, and Wright Park Drive, especially to basketball and skate park. This is a park from Lake Shore to all the roads mentioned. Because number 7 is included as a city recreation facility, owned by the school district. The areas around Serval and North Gordon are also zones, as many students during the typical year use the ball field around for outdoor physical education classes. I have no problem with traffic in the area as we are well aware of it, as we have lived in the park area for 38 years. But the speed is a huge safety concern. It's time the city start cleaning up the city before constructing new venues. This city is a mess and has long been there before pandemic excuse. Number 6, finally, if the true gateway to the city via outside visitors entering from Thruway is Route 60 to Main Street, why is this area so neglected? This is what people see first. My husband and I have tried very hard to maintain our property, including personally tearing down a disgusting home and renovating the property to a park-like setting that extends to Pine Street. Our neighbors are all investing in their properties, and many homes are sold quickly around you. Now it's time the city's responsibility to get things cleaned up. Deborah Razumowski, 376 Lakeshore Drive, East Dunkirk.
Is anybody else getting this stuff over a phone?
Yes.
Somebody's talking over on a phone covering us.
Yes. It's hard to hear.
A lot of static.
It's terrible when Edward, when Edward was talking, it's like a reverb thing going on.
Yeah, I wasn't getting it. It's coming in clear, real clear for me. So
I'm hearing
I think it's something we're just gonna have to deal with this meeting. So we'll just continue on. Hopefully Gabe or Dan can try to figure it out. Does anybody want to respond to Debbie Razumowski?
I want to say at least the part about the speed. I talked to Deb the other day, and at least the speed around there. I think I've brought that up before. I'm hoping to sit down with the chief and with Jidge, who chairs the safety committee, and propose that we do a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit in that area. I'd also like to extend that to changing it to 15-mile-an-hour speed limit, Main Street from Sisson to Beagle and everything north of Pine Street there also. We'll talk about that at a safety committee meeting, but I do know that I have mentioned it here, and I think maybe even at the DPW committee meeting before, that I'd like to see that, or at least I put it in an email at one time. And I'd like to see us lower that, because I agree with her. That area is a park, and we should be at a lower speed limit through there with the school there, with Wright Park, with the stadium, with all of Little League down there. And then we're also going to be putting up a playground in between Serval and Oslot. I'd like us to go right from Oslot over to Wright Park Drive and try to put all that at 15 there.
Anybody else from the council?
I agree with Don, and I'll check with Dave on his availability for a safety meeting. He's been more than cooperative with me. And
yeah, Judge, even if you and I want to sit with him and talk at least about that issue, and then you can talk about it more at a safety meeting or whatever. Anyways, good. Just
the only reason there hasn't been a safety meeting is the same thing. There hasn't been any meetings. It's just because of this virus thing. But I see Dave on a pretty regular basis. I talk to him, email him, and he's the most cooperative department head I've ran into yet.
Any
go to your head, Dave.
Any department heads want to answer that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is it my turn?
No,
Yeah.
Dave, go ahead.
I just think with the upcoming playground, that is also a concern with reducing the speed limit.
Good idea. Any department heads want to answer that?
Sure. Before we get to speed limit, the dumping on the Promenchankle Stadium parking lot, and other areas in the city where dumping should not be allowed. If the public sees that, the police call the police desk at 366-2266. We like to catch them in action and prosecute them. We've been watching that area at Promenchenko. There've been tires dumped there and trees and things like that, totally out of for unnecessary. And so if the public sees somebody, give the patrol desk a call, and I'm sure the chief will, have somebody dispatched to go down and talk to those people and do the appropriate thing. We can put additional signs there. I'll have somebody work with the chief to make sure he's okay with those and the mayor's okay with those, and we'll put down no dumping, and we'll put down police could be for doing that. So good point on that. The boat situation, I think if Rebecca and I can talk to Mr. Pringle, who has rented that space, and if he's abandoned those boats, I'd be happy to get rid of those boats and clean that. So I totally agree with all of her points. And then relative to the speed limit, that would be something to negotiate with the chief. And whatever the chief decides, Public Works will immediately put the signs up, relative to that. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Randy. I mean, even with the woods over there by the stadium, maybe we could even put some of those deer cams up there, hunting cams, and
That's what I was just thinking.
and we could take the license plate down and see who's dumping down there, and check them and find them and arrest them.
Dave, did you have anything to say?
Oh, am I here now? You got me?
Yeah.
We got you now, Dave.
I'll put a memo out. I'll have our guys and girls run some radar down in that area. We can get together, Judge, for public safety committee somewhere along the line here, even if it's just a couple of us. We'll talk about some speed limit changes in that area, and whatever we decide. I have great cooperation and luck with Mike Orpiglia from DPW. They'll get those signs up immediately. They're very good with working with me. So whatever we decide, we'll try and get a fix to it. But in the meantime, I'll have some radar down there.
Dave, along that line, Main Street has become a dumping place. It's become the new trash place. Once every week, it's the same area. And I had private citizens picking up the rubbish and bringing them up to the barns. I would ask if your guys ever catch them, to prosecute them all the way.
Is that Main Street Extension, Judge?
Yes, they're right around the old Pecos place, and it's people are screaming at me. I said, I'm not there to see it.
We'll see if we can keep an eye on that area for a little bit too.
Yeah, it's right around the dog pound and all that stuff.
Okay,
all the way up. Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Is between Green Street and Greco.
Okay.
On the west side of the street.
Okay, moving on. We'll go to communication of the mayor, including disapproval messages.
Mr. Chairman, I just have one announcement. We met today with our federal and state representatives at Lakefront Boulevard and had a discussion there. The issue has been that the FEMA representatives at the federal level have to come out to do their inspection. They have not been here as of yet. As you know, this council has passed resolutions. We've already have the engineers and the contractor ready to roll. But the good news is that we received notice later today, or earlier, I should say, that they're going to be here Friday morning. So we remain hopeful that they will show up Friday. And if they do, then we remain hopeful that we can start that project early next week. So that's the good news for today. As you know, today we started phase 3, and there are new updated guidelines. For those guidelines on businesses, you can go to forward.ny.gov. All the businesses are aware of this. And again, these guidelines continue to change with each phase. So I would encourage everyone to become familiar with the new guidelines. And Judge and the Chief, I just wanted to let you know there is an order from the governor about police reform. I would be, I'm looking to sit down with the committee, Public Safety Committee, and perhaps I'm looking at bringing in some members of our community so that we can start that process. We have 9 months to complete the process and submit our plans. That's basically all that I have for today. Thank you.
Communications from public and petitions.
Number one, notice of claim from Rafael Santiago of 10 East Courtney Street for damages to his car's front passenger rim allegedly caused by a pothole on Leopard Street between 6th and 7th Street on May 28, 2020 at approximately 10 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Excuse me.
Well, we certainly got enough evidence.
Need a motion to refer this to the city attorney and Department of Public Works Director Woodbury.
So moved.
By Williams, seconded by Nichols.
Yep.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Number two.
Number two, prior written notice from Sun Ming Wong of 25 Armadillo Street notifying the city of a potential threat to health and safety posed by a tree in front of the house in the city right of way.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to refer this to Department of Public Works Director Woodbury.
Doyle.
By Stoyl, seconded by
Second.
Williams. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Number three.
Summons in a civil action from Patty Ann Pusateri, Administrator of the estate of Gregory Lee Galloway.
Any discussion, council?
Turn this over to the law department.
Motion to refer this to city attorney by Councilman Stoyl, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Williams. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Number four.
Request from Thomas B. Velk to put his Spanish food stand and Charlie's Curly Fries stands in Memorial Park for the summer of 2020. He is willing to pay a monthly fee to the city for space rent and use of electric and water hookups.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah, like we said in the workshop, I've been informed that a better alternative site than the Memorial Park would be the location between Tim Hortons and the Clarion. And then also, as we make this motion, we got to also remember that this money goes, this is for the city. This isn't a DLDC effort.
Right, so that the payment will go to the city clerk's office.
Correct.
Correct. Any other discussion?
They will be notified of the change in location.
That's correct, ma'am.
Thank you.
Need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions, and also for the alternate location between Tim Hortons and the Clarion.
Nichols.
By Nichols, seconded by Stoyl. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Number five.
Number five, letter from Cynthia Carnes notifying the annual Joe Carnes Memorial Softball Tournament has been canceled this year due to the health and safety concerns related to COVID-19 crisis.
Any discussion, council?
This is usually a good tournament. Just sad to see that they can't do it this year.
Yeah, they do an excellent job. I agree with you, Don, and it is sad that the COVID-19 took another loss. But anybody else?
Be bigger and better next year.
Receive and file list number six.
Number 6, letter from City Assessor Thomas Malechko to the council informing them that he turned in his retirement notice to Mayor Rosas on May 18, 2020, and that he will be in his office until June 30th, 2020.
The
Any
actual,
discussion, council?
Paul,
I'd like to,
Yeah.
the actual last day of employment is July 30th. I don't know if it's supposed to take.
I'd like to advise Tom to take my advice and do what I call them. Moving on.
Is,
We'll receive,
Paul,
yes.
is, can we just get Rich? I mean, I know we all know how that position is filled, but can we just get Rich to mention how that position is filled, just from the legal end of it for the city?
Yeah, Rich, if you would like to explain how we're gonna fill the clerk assessor's job, Tommy's job, so the public would know to go on record.
Sure. So per the charter and the code, council selects a replacement, preferably somebody who has the qualifications and certifications, or somebody who's provisionally, set up to take the proper training. That's pretty straightforward. Then state law kicks in and a special election will be held at some point either this year or next year, likely this year, subject to Board of Elections to fill the position for the remainder of the term.
Doesn't the charter say that it ends the term, the appointed term ends the year after the original position would have been filled?
That I am
believe
not
that's
sure.
what the charter says. They would end up since he'd be running for re-election next year, whoever's appointed would end up staying in there, I believe, from what I read in the charter, until their term would end at the end of the year following the next possible election.
Okay. Let me look that up and see for sure. I do know that council picks the interim. I don't know whether the special election kicks in for sure at the time of this calendar year for this cycle, or if it is at the end of this current term that Tom's.
Yeah, there's no mention of special election in the charter at all for it. It just says that their term is
Right.
there.
So when the charter's silent on some things, the state law kicks in, and then that would fall under the public officers law and what the scheme is for filling those seats as an elected.
Well, if it's something different than the charter, then maybe we got to get it out of the charter, and then maybe we ought to have that put something else in there. Then just, I'm looking at the charter, and the charter tells me that whoever we put in there is basically in there till the end of next year. And so that would mean that they'd be up for re-election or election, since they haven't been elected yet, next November.
I'll have to look that up in terms of the length of that interim term and get back to you on that. I'll make sure I
Okay.
get full council.
All right, just thought you would have known.
Okay, thanks. Number 7.
Number 7, loudspeaker application request from Amanda DeGolier of 99 Elm Street and neighbors to use the standard PA and amps in their yards on July 2nd, 2020 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a private band.
Any discussion, council? Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Doyle,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vanden Heuver.
Aye, carried. That's also a motion to refer to the usual conditional. Number 8.
Number 8, loudspeaker application request from Henry Hooten Sr. of 212 Webster Street to use DVDs and live band on July 3rd, 2020 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a retirement/birthday party.
Any discussion, council?
Like I said earlier at the workshop, this is something he does every year. It's usually just a birthday party, but now he's getting his retirement pay in now, so he's going to celebrate that too. It's a really good event that he has there, so it's pretty good. And I'll be glad to first this one.
Yeah, like I know, he's done this in the past for years and years. He's a great guy, and I wish him the best in the birthday and the retirement. So Need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurance as usual conditions.
So move.
By Williams, seconded by Bomano.
Yep.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Number 9.
Number 9, loudspeaker application request from Frank Beach to use amps and speakers on July 4th, 2020, alternate date July 5th, 2020, from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. for a band practice at 11 Lakefront Boulevard.
Any discussion, council?
Just that if people are gonna,
Chief Ortolano, would you like to, I'm sorry.
just if people are gonna stop when they hear the music, to please be courteous of the side streets and not take up side street parking. And as the chief said, on parking where?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. Chief Ortolano, do you want to mention what you did in the workshop?
Yeah, I don't see any issues with it. I'm sure it'll be fine, as long as they keep the parking along the rail side, and we don't have any issues getting emergency vehicles. I'm very sure that Frank will keep everything, the way it needs to be down there, and hopefully, some people get to listen to some good music.
Any other discussion, council?
No.
Nope.
Need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurance as usual conditions.
So move.
By Williams,
Nichols?
seconded by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Moving on to reports to standing committees and boards and commissions. Councilman Williams.
Well, the communication from Mrs. Razumowski kind of took a lot of what I was going to say. She did mention the parking on the grass at Wright Park. That's all over. That's at Wright Park. That's all over the point. And like I've said at several of these meetings, it really stinks that, you got to tell people you shouldn't park on the grass, because if they're old enough to have a driver's license, they should know that they shouldn't be parking on the grass. But whatever we can do for it, that would be great to stop that from happening. The Main Street beach area and the side on behind the high rise there, that's a mess. I know they were down there today trying to clean it up, and they got a few of the pieces of dock out of there, and there's still more there. I don't know what to do with that. I stood on the sidewalk with some of the people that live around there, because they had called and had Councilwoman Nichols and I stop by to point out a few things to us. And when you're standing on the sidewalk right by the rail, you can barely see the stacks of NRG from there, with all the growth on that berm and everything. And I don't know if council's fine with it. I'd like to get something in there to clean that right up and knock that down and clean that up and have everything there. Maybe you'd still want to have some grass that you only go in and brush hog a couple, 2-3 times a year, so that people aren't using it as a beach. But I think that we need to clean that up and straighten that up. That's, if people that are staying at the Clarion, they go for a walk and they see that mess that's back there. If I was them, I probably would never want to visit again, just by looking at all the trash and junk that's back there. So I wish that I wish we would clean that up and do something with that. And the other part is the fields are in the same condition, not that bad a condition, I guess, as the one side of the beach there. But we need to get concentrating on the fields. I got a lot of calls from some different people that are in the travel leagues that are interested in working. Dopey's interested. Tim Doviaz is interested in doing the Falcons tournament again. And everybody's saying that they're going to bring volunteers down to fix these fields. And I think through shared services with the city school district, I believe the school district has a piece of equipment that can kind of till that up and get all the grass out of it and make it look good. So if we can work in that direction and try to clean some of these things up, that would be really great.
Paul, you want to intervene?
Go ahead, Marty.
I'm hoping that Randy intervenes or somebody does sooner or later.
Yeah, Marty.
Councilman Williams, Councilman Stoyle got a hold of me yesterday. We talked about the issues with the Walking Club tournament. I got a hold of Councilman Vandenhuber. I wanted to go down there and show him how bad it was. I took a look at the fields, all 3 fields yesterday after work. And we did get a hold of someone from the high school, and they said they would love to share services with us. And we're going to get one of our men down there to help out and get that started as early as Friday.
All right, that's good. And then Randy, they talked about earlier about the garbage on Main Street Extension. I would bet that if we'd ever get out there and clean up all that growth of weeds and everything out there, then the garbage wouldn't be able to hide so easy out there. So are we planning on getting that stuff picked up anytime soon?
Sure. I'll address all the issues you got. The Main Street area, if people were walking today, starting at 6:30 this morning was our first time we had heavy equipment on the beaches. And the mayor's asked us to get the beaches pristine by the 28th, and we hope to meet that schedule. The operator on the clam bucket payloader was one of our excellent parks workers, local line employee Jim Gainey. Really did a nice job of carefully scraping the sand off the road, putting it, and he's really grooming that beach very nicely. So the east side of that walkway is starting to look really well because of Mr. Gainey's efforts. The west side is part of the New York State Park System. Now that the New York State Park System is rehiring and getting their people going, I'll reach out to them and see if they can start trimming some of that stuff. We can help them as well. But we want that area to look good. We've done it before, but it does naturally kind of collect things in the stagnant marina area. So it takes some work. We've had a volunteer. Jim Menzer has done some of the trash cleanup on his own as part of Revitalize Dunkirk. Done a great job, service to the city. So totally agree with you on Main Street. We got a really good start on that with Mr. Gainey's work today. The difference between what it looked like at 6:30 and what it looks like now is incredible. And I just commend the parks people in the city for continuing that and for making all the beaches ready fairly soon. The ball fields, we will work with all the people to help as needed to make those look good. Like the councilman said, they don't look that bad. They've had a little bit of grooming in anticipation of this opening. So I've seen that first base, second base, third base, and so forth over Cook's Field are in place. So the ball fields will take a little bit of work and be ready to go. We have some excellent ball fields, especially the stadium with the blue LED lights. It makes it look like you're in Yankee Stadium. It's a wonderful facility. The parking on the grass is something we can address between DPW, signage, and the police department. And then the garbage on Main Street is a new phenomena. Obviously, somebody is taking advantage of, we think, from out of town. We are going to go through, I probably shouldn't give the handout because of the person's listening, but if there's any kind of hint as to who it is within the bag, that we carefully, and we don't, now I want to advise people, if you see garbage on the side of the road, don't be poking around in it. Sometimes there's dangerous items in there. So we will do that with a proper protective equipment, and we'll look at the bags and see if we can identify them. We will clear the area to make it look more visible. And if anybody sees anybody littering or throwing garbage bags, let's try to catch them in real time. Wherever we can put cameras up, If we might be able to reach that area with a telephoto lens camera on this new, on a pump station, improvements, we want to monitor, we want to use modern technology to try to monitor more areas and get them on film with a license plate and things like that. So who's ever doing that, we're after you. We're gonna get you. So totally agree with you. I think I addressed all your issues. Did I, Councilman?
Yes, I believe you did.
Randy, I think those cameras on the pump station on Main Street are a great idea. That's just about the area where the rubbish is.
Thanks, Councilman.
All right, I also, just to start and give a little bit extra of why I'm going to be asking this one is, this is going to be for Richard, because Richard gives us a lot of different emails and things that, you know, a lot of things that council's trying to do. We're being told a lot that we're overstepping and we're not doing things the way we should. And I'd like to bring to attention to Richard the Article 6 of the city charter, the Department of Law. Under G, it seems to say that if you're going to be doing anything with personnel in there, adding a new position or anything, that it's with the as authorized by Common Council. Would you agree with that, Rich?
Yes.
So I guess by saying that, I'd like to say for probably 2 months, I've been trying to find the resolution that creates a paralegal position in the law department. So if you could get me that resolution and let me know where council approved that, I'd be very happy.
Sure. So just to answer that, and I can go back actually one better. You wanted to know about the exact time when the vacancy goes to the election. I looked that up while you were speaking. I had that answer for you, and then I'll go to this next one. The language is a little bit blurry, but in the charter it says the appointee shall serve until the commencement of the political year next succeeding the first general election after the happening of the vacancy at which a successor may be elected, and the vacancy shall be filled at such election for the expired term. If I'm reading that correctly, that means the interim filled in until the election cycle of 2021. And they would fill, the person elected would fill that post 2022. Is that correct?
Correct. That's what I thought it read.
Okay. Yeah, it's just the sense a little convoluted, but yeah, it gets us there. So there's that. On the other issue, it doesn't say there exactly in the charter that it needs resolution. It just says council authorization. Council was made aware that we were creating that position and moving away from a secretary position because we wanted something management confidential. We had those conferences now almost 3 years ago, and the position was approved by council in the budget appropriation.
So how else is everything else authorized by council? Everything's authorized by council, as authorized by Common Council. Everything's authorized by Common Council through resolution. So a verbal, a conversation, an email, or whatever, that doesn't constitute. How are we paying somebody to be a paralegal in that office, and it hasn't even passed a resolution by council? How, by budget with the auditors, how can we actually pay for somebody to do that when council never approved that position? Council doesn't know how much that person is being paid. Council doesn't know any benefits that's going on with that. You did that all. We don't see any of it. I'd like to know where a resolution is, and if there isn't a resolution, we'll gladly make one and put that in there.
Mr. Chairman, can I intervene, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to remind the councilman, I'm not sure why he's bringing stuff up that he was a part of, but the budget was approved with this person in there for 2 years in a row while he voted yes for those budgets. So for him to claim now that he was unaware of this is ludicrous.
I never said I was unaware of it.
I have no idea why he's bringing this up.
Okay. Never said I was unaware of it. Through COVID, I've had a lot of time to read through the code and the charter. And a lot of times we're being told that we're overstepping, yet things seem to happen that other people are doing things without getting the authorization. Authorization is a resolution. And a resolution is what we should be doing.
You should have asked for a resolution
All right.
3
Mayor,
years
Mayor,
ago when the
hang
position
on,
was
hang on.
created.
This is a
That was
council
the
meeting,
time
Mayor, and I
to,
wasn't done talking.
You were a councilman back then. You should have asked for a resolution then. Why are you
Dave,
bringing it
mute
up
him.
now? You
Mayor,
should have
can I
asked for that
remind you-
resolution
Mayor,
3 years ago when
excuse
the
me,
position
excuse
was
me.
brought in. And
Hey.
you voted just on the budget. That would have been the
excuse
time
me.
for you to bring it up.
Excuse me, this is a council meeting, Mayor. Do not do that again or I'll ask you to leave. Plain and
That's
simple.
okay. If you don't want me to be a part of it, I'll leave.
See you later.
But
Bye.
sit
Goodbye.
here and listen to these lies.
Let's go. Council, this is a council meeting. We're going to continue as a council. Richard, are you done answering Councilman Williams?
I can finish.
Go ahead.
Simply, there's a difference between what I was telling you, Councilman Williams, about difference between legislative branch duties and executive branch duties and a procedural issue. This is a procedural issue, and I'd be happy to do a resolution. If you'd like to sponsor, I need a second, and we can put that in the next cycle.
That's what I was kind of getting at, because I'm worried about the stuff with that. And plus, I'm also aware that there's really nothing that's followed. So part of that resolution, I would want that position to be part of 912.
That's not up for negotiation. We already worked it out. with
Then stop the position, because I don't know why we're paying it. And the idea of saying that it's when you vote on a budget is a line that you want to put money into so that you're ready and you can spend it the next year. So if you put $1 million in there, then you could fill 1 million people into your thing and I'll pay them all $1. That's bullcrap. We shouldn't be doing it that way. That's part of why I keep saying about the transparency. I've been against this idea of giving raises and positions through the budget process. I've spoke about it before. So we need to do this by resolution from now on and be more transparent.
Not a problem, sir. Take care of that next
you.
meeting.
Paulie,
Okay, moving on.
Paulie.
You're up now anyways.
Oh, well, I just wanted to comment on spinning off of Don here. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
I do remember being in those budget meetings, and I do remember for that position to be funded. And I can't remember off the top of the head what it was, but for the benefits and the package and the salary, that's public knowledge if anybody really didn't know that. That's all I got to say.
From how? See through New York?
That's
'Cause
right.
we don't have anything on paper that says what she's getting paid.
I could tell you right now what she's getting paid if it'll make you feel better.
We don't need to do that here. I'd like to see, but where's the contract? Where's something on paper that says what's going on?
There is no contract.
Okay, listen.
No contract,
guys,
no
listen.
resolution, but yet we pay somebody. I'm done with my question. We'll move on.
Hey,
Otherwise,
hang
we
on.
can do this all night.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me, Richard, just get the information what the councilman's asking for, and then we can discuss this after our meeting, okay?
Not a problem.
Thank you. Councilman Bomano, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay, Councilman Stoyl.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have, for my turn to talk, yeah, I do have a couple things.
Sure.
I got an announcement. There will be a finance meeting next Tuesday, June 30th, 2 p.m. in the mayor's conference room, social distancing. If those still apply by then, who knows what's going to happen? It changes every 10 minutes. Also, I would like to congratulate the 3 Dunkirk High School senior women who organized this march two Saturdays ago. I'm very proud of them and what they did. I'd like to thank the mayor and police chief Ortolano for helping them organize this also. And it was a very good event, very quiet, well organized, and the policemen were there, and they were interacting with everybody. So that was just a great time. I'm proud of those girls. I wanted to announce that to them. Also, this past Saturday, there was a food drive at the Dunkirk High School for needy families in the community. That went real well. And I was glad to be, coming there and talking to some people. Met the new superintendent, very nice guy. And the touch on the ball fields, talked to the mayor and Councilman Vanderhoover and Stoyl yesterday, and everybody wants to have this tournament if we can make it happen. And it looks like they'll be in phase 4, 2 weeks into phase 4 by the time this happens. So hopefully this can go off. It should be okay, and there'll probably be a couple rules here and there we have to abide by. The main thing was, can we get the fields ready? And so we talked to one of the employees at the high school, and Councilman Vandenbruber got a hold of a couple people he needed to get a hold of, and we're gonna do some tiered services together, and everybody seems to be on board, and we got a month to get that ready. Thank you,
Excellent.
guys. And Paul, that's all I got.
Okay. Thanks, Marty. Appreciate it. Yeah, like Marty said, we got our heads together yesterday, and hopefully we can get things accomplished with shared services, and it looks good for right now. So moving on to Councilman Stoyl. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Judge.
You got it?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. Dave, I know I put a lot of crazy questions to you, and I put a lot of pressure on you, but you're the most cooperative department head I've met in my life. Don brought it up earlier, the parking on the grass. Down at Point Gratiot, they're parking between the bicycle thing and the park, and the road. Can we throw a couple of tickets out there maybe to slow these guys down with this? Screaming about this. And I know you guys got enough to do, but they're parking right in the middle of the bike path and the road. I mean, could they not warn them, or if they're not there, ticket them?
Chief Ortolano.
You're off, Dave.
Got me now?
You got you.
Okay, I believe me, I'm no fan of anyone parking on the lawns anywhere in the park. I'm gonna have to work with Mr. Woodbury and Mike Corpiglia. Maybe we can put some general signs up at the entrance to all the parks stating no parking on the grass. So we don't have to put 1,000 no parking signs up everywhere. No park rules, no parking on any of the lawn areas, and I'll be glad to tag the hell out of all of them.
Yeah, Dave, because I stopped last week, the Parks Department put I asked them, they put 2 brand new no parking signs up where Nancy complained a couple of weeks ago on the sand as you're turning into the point, before you go into the actual park.
Right, we got those up.
The guy parked between the 2 signs.
Yeah, people just don't pay attention. They'll get a $20 reminder of it.
I said, can you not see the signs? And he goes, who the hell are you? Okay, I'll see it. I mean, I know there's not much, unless we put Jersey barriers up there.
I agree with you again, and I think I'd like to work with Mr. Woodbury on getting some signs up and Mike Porpiglia at the entrance to all the parks, general park rules, no parking on any of the grass, and then we can just go in there and tag them all.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Sounds good.
I'm done, Paul.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nichols.
Randy, I talked to you about the lights under the overpass on Roberts Road. They're still out. And I had an email today regarding this. Also on the west side of Central and the east side of Swan. Randy, are you sleeping?
I'm writing down the information.
Oh, okay.
I don't forget.
Okay.
I'm going to send an email to Niagara National Grid right after we get off here. So lights,
Roberts Road,
lights that are out
west side of Central,
on the
and the east side of Swan.
underpass on Robert And then, on the west side, okay. Other people would give me some information. I don't know, usually they get to these things pretty quickly, and they're a little bit slow these days, so it could be the same situation when ask them for an ETA on that and get it moving. It's a safety issue, so I want it done.
Yeah, we have a lot of walkers. I'd like to thank Alan, Glenn, and Wanda for being so patient with me and handling all the tall grass that I've turned into them. They've done a great job. I also had a email today from a lady. She's concerned about Washington Park, Point Gratiot. She says they're disgusting. Why hasn't anyone worked on the playgrounds in Washington Park? But she also made a note, and I think, Rich, you might want to take note on this one. She said, please note that we are not, they're worried about the grass being cut on the low or no cost housing projects in the city. Could you just touch base at this, the responsibility of the city on that?
I'm sorry, Nancy, are you talking about public housing or are you talking about the Stell housing?
She didn't say which. She said low or no cost housing. So I'm assuming she's talking about any of the housing that is not city housing itself per
Right.
se.
Public housing is, they have their own contractor, their own staff to do grass cutting. The city has nothing to do with that. And the Stell projects, they have their own lawn care service. We don't cut grass for the Stell project.
I think the point she was trying to make is that they're better taken care of better than the cities. She doesn't understand, as Randy is saying, and Mike, how short-staffed we are. We can't attack everything all at once.
Right. I do know that more staff is on the way for parks. I'm told that. I know that we're working on something to have a new park supervisor sooner than later, and also potentially to add another labor position, as well as try to start hiring some seasonals now that things are open, and the parks are going to be able to be used.
Give them a trim.
Okay, I have, with the 4th of July festivities canceled, what happened to the money that was budgeted for those festivities?
I can answer that. That money is still in there and we don't expect to be using it. We'll probably be using it at the tail end of the year to make up for all the funds that we're not going to be receiving this year.
Okay. And one last thing, several people have seen Hector mowing his lawn, and I do know that he's been on a work from home position since March with special events and festivals canceled currently. These people would like to know why he's not put to work in other areas such as the gate on Lucas Avenue so it's open in a timely fashion. He's a 9/12 employee, so he should, I guess he should be utilized to that event. Now, as I read the overtime sheets that I've just gotten, he put in for 2 hours of overtime. How can this be justified?
So I'm glad you mentioned that because the plan is to put I just had a discussion today with the union president for the local AFME 912. And as of today, we have decided that we are going to be putting some of the folks that have been working from home to work in other areas. There is a process to be followed according to the union contract. I believe seniority would be a part of that. And so we will be looking at all of those things. As far as singling out Hector Rosas, I think that's wrong. I would never do that. I can say to you that if it's in the city's best interest that he get put to work, we'll put him to work wherever it is that the city's needs are. Again, following the union contract because he is a long-standing member of that union. So I hope that answers your questions.
No, it didn't. And I didn't.
Oh, so what part of it didn't it answer? What do you want to know? Does Hector mow his own lawn? Yes, he does.
No.
So what is your question?
How did he justify 2 hours of overtime when there's nothing for him to do?
We have a union contract that we follow, and if he's doing something outside of his normal business hours of work, then he's allowed to cash in for overtime. just like all the other members of the AFSCME Local 912.
But we've been short at the gate on Lucas Avenue for how long? That's a no-brainer job. Other employees, and I've been there, I've taken stuff there, my children's taken stuff there. The gates are not open. We've waited for them to open up. You're pulling people from other departments. Poor Mr. Woodbury's got to find this one, and that one to go over there to get the gates open so our tax-paying residents of the city can get rid of their recyclables, their brush, their grass. But yet your brother is sitting home cutting his grass, doing nothing when he could be brought into Lucas Avenue to open that gate and take down plates and names. I'm sorry.
Yes. I understand that you don't like my brother, and it's okay. But the bottom line here is that we have a contract to follow, and I have tasked and directed our director, and he can attest to this, that brush pickup be taken care of. So if he can't do it, then I'll find someone that can. The bottom line is it's going to be taken care of.
That's not the whole point at all. City residents want to do their own thing, so it's not putting a burden on the employees of the city for them. They're not going to wait till July for the next brush pickup. They want to get rid of the stuff that they have.
That's exactly my point. They should be allowed to get rid of it now, not tomorrow. So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
But you don't need to pull someone from Mr. Woodbury's office to work the gate when we have someone else that can work the gate.
Those decisions have not been made by me. Those are the decisions made by the department head.
Push the blame onto somebody else.
No, the blame lies where it belongs. Nancy, if you don't want to believe the truth, don't believe it. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, let's go. Come on, we're moving on here.
I'm done.
Oh, I can add something real quick to that.
Yeah,
Paul,
sure.
Real quick. If talking about Hector, he's been in there probably over 35 years. So for him to go, since he's in this home situation, you would have to go all the way down the seniority list before you get to him to call them people back by seniority by union contract.
I think what she's trying to get to, and it's for everybody that sits on the council, is that we're getting our overtime report and we're wondering why Hector would have 2 hours overtimes being at home when he couldn't adjust his schedule to not pound the city taxpayers for overtime when he's not showing up for work. I think that was the reason that everybody sees, and then we get phone calls and we got to explain why Hector's getting 2 hours overtime, especially when all the festivals are canceled this year. I mean, it's mind-boggling to the council. And
so
I just want to mention one other thing, okay? Listen, this is the first and last time I'm going to say this. This is a council meeting. I don't care if you're out of order, if you're the mayor, a council, or department head, or a citizen. I will ask you to sit down, and I would ask you to leave. So you will not interrupt me ever again. Let's get that very clear. We got a year and a half left, and I'm going to set that premises right now. It will not happen again. All right?
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
I'm done, Mayor. I'm done. All right?
Well, you've lied to the public because the festivals and events have not been canceled.
I'm moving on. This is not your meeting.
Let's tell the public the truth. Let's inform them with the truth.
That is the truth, Mayor. Deal with it.
The truth is that
the
festivals have not been canceled this whole season.
Yeah.
The festivals has not been canceled the whole season.
So what has he been doing since January? Nothing. Zero.
Listen, you don't like him. You have a personal vendetta.
I don't have a problem, but I have a problem with people that are stealing from the taxpayers' money. That's right. It's falsifying
let's try to find them so we can get them arrested.
My problem is to be the watchdog for the taxpayers of the city of Dunkirk. That is our job, Mayor.
Well, you're not doing that good a job.
I think I am. We'll see.
No, you're not.
We'll see in 3 more years how tough you are.
No, we'll see how tough you are.
So I know how tough I am. Believe me.
No, you don't.
Yeah, believe me. You're a very weak person. You always will be. You always have. You always will be.
Let's try that.
So we're going to go with this. So while we're on the subject of last week or 2 weeks ago, when I asked you, you were on a hiring freeze because of the COVID-19. You went out and hired your cousin, Raymond Roses, for the city clerk's job. So that's another thing that everybody wants to know about. How is that possible? Right?
I'd be more than happy to answer that question. The answer is that Roger Hayden is there and he can tell you, we looked for the best qualified candidate and we found him. His last name happened to be Rosas. Do you not hire the best qualified candidate because his last name is Rosas? No, it was in the city's best interest to hire him, and that's a decision that we made.
How many,
Roger can
how
attest
many
to that.
applications, how many applications did you get received for that job?
We looked at all of them.
How many?
10.
I want to see them.
Tomorrow when I come to City Hall.
And I
Oh,
want
we
to
the
see them.
last
You're
meeting.
more than
We the last
welcome to see
meeting
him.
hire,
And
because
I
we're
wanna
in a
see 'em.
state of emergency.
The hiring, that position needs to be filled. It's a local union position.
Well, so are the other ones over at Department of Public Works and Streets. They
Sure.
needed to be filled 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're dealing with, you asked me the question, I gave you the answer.
Okay, so that's
Your
good. All
guy,
right. So,
Roger Hayden,
okay,
is
we're
there.
gonna
You
move
can
on
ask
then.
him
I'll
as
ask
well.
Roger. I'll ask Roger, and we'll get the applications of, because I'm gonna foil this to make sure it's a true transfer over from where he's coming from. It's illegal.
Mr.
The other
Chair,
question-
You
the
don't
other
have to
question
foil
is-
it, you can get it.
I will. And the other
Mr.
thing
Chairman.
is, I want to ask real quick is, why is the city clerk's office sending people in the town of Dunkirk for marriage license? Richard, can you answer that?
I'm
I
sorry.
don't believe that's true.
Why is everybody going to the city clerk's office and they're sending them out to the town of Dunkirk for marriage license because they said they don't know how to do it? Is that true or not?
I have no idea. I have not heard that at all.
The city clerk is a part of this meeting, why don't we
I
ask him?
didn't ask you. I didn't ask you, Mayor.
Well, you're asking the city attorney about
I'm
something
not-
that doesn't
yeah, I
happen in
am
his
asking
department.
because he knows. He's the attorney, so I'm asking him.
He wouldn't know, it's not his department.
Hey, Mayor, I'm done. I'm going to ask you to leave now, all right? You can sign off the meeting. I'm done with you today. I'm done.
Have an omelet.
Rich, so we're moving on to
He's leaving.
Edwin. Edwin, is that a true rumor that you guys are doing that?
You're muted, Edwin.
Answer
muted.
it, Edwin.
He's muted.
Edwin, you're on mute.
There we go.
So if they come in and we set up an appointment and they're not happy with their date, then they will find somewhere else. They can go to Fredonia, they can go to Pomfret, they can go to Sheridan. There's several places that they can go. We don't tell them to go anywhere else, and we service our customers, our citizens as best as we can.
So you're not denying anybody for their marriage license, correct?
Absolutely not.
Okay, good. Rebecca, I have a question for you. As far as like the mayor was asking, has anyone ever asked you? So I know you're the department head for your Hector supervisor. So has anybody from the mayor's office or from Randy's office asked you to move Hector and help out all hands on deck for Parks or Lucas Avenue?
No, I haven't been asked.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good. The other thing I want to ask you, all these empty buildings that are bought by a couple individuals in a Dunkirk, they're just left vacant. Do they have any plans on doing anything for the downtown businesses or anything?
I know they're working on selling a couple are you talking about the lessers maybe on Central, a lot of vacant ones? Yeah, I know that they've been working, obviously the city bought the Stearns building from them. They're working on a deal with hopefully Central Station. They are trying to move on them, and we're working with them to try to help them find some people that are interested in buying as well, that actually will utilize them.
Like P&G and everything, the guy that owns that and owns other buildings around the city, it just seems like nothing's being done with these buildings.
Yeah, I mean, we're putting pressure on, and he has plans for them is what he's told us. So that's as much as I know.
Can we keep putting pressure on him?
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Chief Ortolano, just a couple things for you. I'm sure that I talked to everyone prior to the meeting that, the fireworks have been going off in the city of Dunkirk. It's crazy, just everywhere. And I know it's hard to try to pinpoint where they're coming from, but, and I'll let you answer to a couple questions. That plus the car music and the loud mufflers. The mufflers are just driving everybody crazy. I think that's 90% of our phone calls are the mufflers, the loud music, and the fireworks.
Chief, you're on mute.
We lost you, Dave.
Is that it? You got me?
You got
Yes.
it.
Yep.
Okay. As far as the fireworks, we've been receiving a lot of complaints. I'm going to put a media release out and do the best we can to let everybody know. What we ask from our end is for everyone, when they hear it happening, to call immediately to the desk or send a car, and we'll do the best we can to get in the area and find out where they're coming from and shut it down. As far as the noise issues from the vehicles, the mufflers, and the music, I know we've written dozens of those tickets in the last couple of weeks. We will continue to hit that. The mufflers and the music are part of the city's noise ordinance. And hopefully maybe we can have a conversation with our judge to make sure that he really lets them understand with a fine that this is unacceptable.
Right. Yeah, I do have a phone call into the Honorable Judge John Cousdale, and I'm going to have a talk with him. And hopefully maybe we can get a press release out there. I know that you're on the radio tomorrow. If you could stress that again.
Absolutely. I will bring it up tomorrow on the radio show, and I will put out a summer press release this week, and I will hit it very hard with the music and the noise, and just make it be known that, we're not going to put up with it, and we're going to enforce it, and it is what it is.
I know your guys and girls are working very hard to do that, and I appreciate all your help. It's just that it's just getting crazy, and we'll just do the best we can, but I appreciate your work. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll keep at it.
Randy, I just have a couple things for you. Just people are saying about the recycling, the hit and miss. What's up with the gates being open and closed? I mean, I know that now that we're going to be getting some other help down there, maybe we can adjust our schedule and make sure that it's open for that.
Yes, sir. We had a few growing pains. It's the first time we've monitored that area. We used to leave it open 5 or 6 days a week, and it really turned into a disaster. And so we now have a monitor there before we open the gate. And we thought we could have longer hours. We talked with Councilman Williams. We've tightened the hours to be consistent. We now are going to be open from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we can get a 912 worker there during the week for that, and also from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. So we will have a 912 worker there. We've been able, the problems we've had is when somebody calls in sick or something on the day, then it kind of messes up the schedule that Mr. Papilio and I have, and we have to scramble. And I'd like to thank the other divisions for helping us scramble and get somebody there. We don't feel we can leave the gate open unmonitored or it's going to be another disaster. So we apologize. I take the blame for not being able to get people there sometimes at 9 o'clock. It's taken a little bit of moving around. If they're fixing a pump or something like that, I let them fix the pump and a few minutes late. We're going to correct that. We have a plan to do that. I worked with the mayor to make a plan to do that. It will be 912 people. And we will keep that gate monitored and we will have a consistent time. And I apologize for taking some time to learn how to work that best. It's a new system. Part of it is the short staffing that we're experiencing with the situation we're going through. We've added some people that really moved them around. We've doubled the number of employees, 912 employees in parts overnight. We went from 2 to 4, and I think it's, even though we get a few complaints, I think those 2 people did a great job for a while, and the 4 people are doing. I mentioned Jim Gainey was just added, and then Steve Zatorsky's been added, and he's a lawn mowing machine, and he was really doing great today. And the other 2 guys are Jason Sislevich and Billy Cross, and we have an excellent parks division, and we expect to grow it. And Rich and the mayor are working on the supervisory part of it. But
Yeah, I totally agree with you with the guy, great
the
guys.
parks will work. Yeah.
Okay, Randy.
And so, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. I appreciate it. Like I said, I totally agree with you on that. Hey, the other thing I want to ask you, just one more other thing is that I remember you and I were talking about the miles per hour sign that we have shared services that we're part owners with. Is there any way we can get that in the city of Dunkirk? That digital readout shows how fast people are moving up and down roads, and we put those like, on Main and Grant, Central Avenue, some of the other places that are problem. Some.
Absolutely. It's stored in the Sheridan garage. Supervisor John Walker is kind of keeping an eye on it. He knows how to program it. I would like to talk to the chief and the mayor and the public safety committee, and we can position that thing around. It looks exactly like the signs in the school zones in Westfield, but it's portable. So it tells you,
Yep.
there's a radar in there that tells you what you're doing wrong. You're going 28 and a 25, stop it. And so great idea. We'll get it in place.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's a really good comparison is the one in Westfield. I go through it quite a bit and it always grabs your attention, which is always good. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it. That's all I got for you. Glenn, I do have a couple things, for you tonight. Also, I spoke to a person on 69 West Green Street. They're cleaning up at the dead end street on West Green, Mr. Schuler and his brother. I guess that you were over there. I want to say they had a couple of dumpsters out there. They're cleaning the property up. Are you aware of that, Glenn?
I believe that it was Alan that was out.
Okay, I'm sorry. He said it was you, so that's one reason I was asking about that. I drove by and they're doing, they're cleaning everything up and Alan was asking them questions about it, but they're trying to do the best they can. I mean, it looks like it's like night and day right now. He did send me pictures, so I'll send those pictures to you if I could email those to you.
All right.
If I could ask, is that the property at the dead end of the street?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I actually spoke to him last week and we had a good conversation.
Okay,
He's doing a very good job there.
I'm sorry, I didn't see. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. So everything's good there now?
Well, yeah. Obviously, there was quite a bit of vehicles in the yard and debris, and we did talk to them initially, and then I was over there doing a follow up, and that was the first time I had talked to him in person, and we had a good conversation, and they're doing a really good job to head in the right direction, getting that cleaned up.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He called me with some concerns that you were over there, and I said, I have a council meeting tomorrow, so I would just ask you on that. I appreciate it.
I was out in the street.
What's that?
I was out in the street just following up to see what I could see from the street.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Just to follow up on the addresses I gave you on Central, Glenn, 821, 812, 801, and 831 with the paint.
Yes. You want reports on each individual address?
Yeah, if you could just let me know how you did, if you can just put it in my mailbox. I was just wondering if you need me to.
All three received violation letters. Some more severe and lengthy than others.
Okay, awesome. So that was taken care of. They did receive them.
Yes.
Excellent. There's one issue I want to speak to. I'll give you a call tomorrow, and there's a couple things I want to go over about one of the residents that didn't show up for the inspection. So
I beg your pardon?
The one on the inspection that never showed, I believe.
What address?
That'd be 821 Central.
Okay,
I think you guys.
We'll clear that up.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. I'll get a hold of you and go over that tomorrow. Is Mike Edwards, Chief Edwards on? No? Okay. Just another thing I'd like to say, just to follow up what Marty said Saturday, I helped out with the food bank of Western New York over at Dunkirk High School. You know, Dave D'Amico put on a great effort and got everyone together, the legislators, the senators, council people were there, the Dunkirk Teachers Association. A lot of people from the community came and gave, and I know it's tough times for everybody, and just to see people come there and help out and give what they could was fantastic, and it was a pleasure helping them people out.
Councilman?
Yeah.
I'm on. Do you have a question for me? It's Mike.
Oh yeah, Mike, I got your report. I want to say it was a fantastic report, and my mind blown was from the emergency responses you guys get. That is like almost 90% of your calls are EMS calls.
Yeah, that's correct. We've actually, over the last few months, those calls decreased during the COVID-19 crisis, but over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been real busy and call volume has increased. We had a night last week where we had a variety of calls where we'd answered 5 EMS calls, a couple of fire alarm activations. We had a structured fire. We had residents full of natural gas. So, hats off to our crews that were on that night. They kind of got a bunch of curveballs thrown at them, and as usual, they did a great job. Thanks for recognizing.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Again, give your guys, thank you from the city council. You guys do a fantastic job. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
And just one other thing, and I'll end the arguing tonight, and we'll move on. But I just want to say that this council is trying to do as best as can, and we're making moves, and we're making moves that are not going to be popular. And I said that in January 1st. We had to fire some people, and there's more people we need to fire. We need to take the trash to the curb, and that's exactly what we're doing, whether you like it or you're not. All right, moving on. Let's go. 72. We'll go to unfinished business.
Yeah.
Seeing none, we'll go to pre-filed resolutions, number 72.
Alan, this is Councilman Stoyl. Are you going to be available for a little ride tomorrow? You're muted, buddy.
Yes.
All right. What time would you be at City Hall?
Anytime, call us. I just have a scheduled engagement during lunchtime. Other than that, I'm free.
All right. How about around 9 o'clock?
Can we make it 9:15? I have a
You
inspection.
can make it 9:30 if you want.
Yeah, 9:30 be better.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I want to thank Roger Hayden for the wonderful job he's doing. And I know he's been under a lot of pressure. This guy's been around. He's been around. He knows his business. Roger, thank you very much. And Tommy Maletsko, follow my advice, buddy. For your retirement and do what I told you. You've been an asset to the city. Thank you very much. And Rebecca, thank you for answering my questions when I ask them.
Paul, I just would like to say one thing on the wonderful reports we're getting from Denise Sanchez, animal control. She's doing a superb job.
Yeah, that's another thing that's a very, very good point. I meant to mention that also. She is doing a wonderful job in the reports and showing us accountability, which is huge for this council, which we need.
Yes.
And she's one of many of department heads that do that. So it's appreciated. Thanks. All right, we're going to move on to pre-filed resolutions, number 72.
Resolution authorizing contract with New York State DEC for 2019-2020 Environmental Restoration Program funding.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Vermonto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large Vanden Heuver.
Aye, carried. Number 73.
Resolution accepting electrical contract for Main Street 3rd Ward Pump Station repairs and upgrades under the 2009 consent order.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhuber.
Aye, carried. Number 74.
Resolution authorizing conveyance of New York City-owned vacant lot and paper street parcels to adjoining residents.
Any discussion, council? Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhuber.
Aye, carried. 75.
Resolution for intro number 6 to local law number 6, 2020, City of Dunkirk, a local law to amend city code, chapter 56, sections 2040, 2060, 3010, and 3030.
Any discussion, council?
It is for public hearing.
It's tabled for public hearing. That's correct.
We need a motion to table.
So move. Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhuber.
Aye, we'll set that.
Chairman, would
public-
you like to schedule that?
Yeah, right. I'd like to schedule that. How about Tuesday, July 7th at 5:20 PM?
Works.
Is that good, Richard?
Yep.
Okay.
I have a walk-in. This is from the Juneteenth organization. It says, "Dear city officials, the Juneteenth 2020 Celebration Committee is requesting the use of Memorial Park, Lakeshore Drive West, Dunkirk, New York, to hold a rally on Friday, June 19, 2020, beginning at 6 p.m. June 19th is the official observance of the African American Emancipation Day, which began in 1865. There will be presentations from various speakers on the importance of Juneteenth, especially in light of everything going on in the world today. We will expect that the rally should last no longer than 2 hours. Community members will be encouraged to wear masks and practice social distancing in light of COVID-19. The Juneteenth Celebration Committee will have masks available for everyone that does not have one. I look forward to hearing from you at the earliest convenience. Loretta Slayton Terrain.
Any discussion, council?
Just that, like I said at the workshop, they usually do their weekend-long Juneteenth celebration, and that's usually at Memorial Park. So I'd love to make the first to be the first to say that make the motion. Sorry, to say that we approve this and put it to all the other department heads and committees. As long as they sign off on it, then we'd be okay. And I understand that the reason why they'd be doing this now is because of, they canceled their original one, and then now that things are opening, that now they're going to be doing a 1-day, 2-hour little rally, which is good. So I definitely support it. And like I said, I'd like to be the one to make the motion to move this forward.
Okay, like I said in the workshop also, that I understand it's a COVID-19 and, the memo came out today and we got to make a decision by Friday on this. I'm not saying that I would vote no on it anyways, but we need to get back to where we're going to tell people as of today. I think we should start as of tonight after this meeting, that we go back to the 30 days. We need to have more notice on what's going on around the city of Dunkirk, to be fairness to the department heads and be fairness to the council. So, any other discussion, council?
I'll second that, Paul.
Okay. That'd be Williams and Bamanto. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Wake up, Tidge.
Stoyl,
Stoyl.
Is he there?
He's there.
Judge.
Yeah.
You gotta say aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Say aye.
I don't have to say anything. Go ahead, aye. Just remember, everything goes forward from this point on.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever.
Aye, carried. New business? Seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
By Williams, seconded by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols,
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever.
Aye, carried. Meeting is adjourned. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
Hi, George.